Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices, and you can sign up for product alerts. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Last week I reviewed the E.T. cooperative board game by Funko Games designed by Prospero Hall. Now they have also released, well, many games, but 2 other cooperative games that feel similar to this, but at the same time are still very different. And that is Horrified, which is the most popular game of the 3, and then Back to the Future, Back in Time. Now I'm going to give you a quick 1-minute overview of each of these, and then I'll talk about these and tell you both my favorite and which one might be the best for you. Horrified is a cooperative game for 1 to 5 players where each of you will be one of these heroes trying to defeat monsters throughout the game. And you'll be selecting and fighting some of these monsters, like the Mummy, or the Creature from the Black Lagoon, or Dracula. And you're trying to win by defeating all of the monsters. And you'll be cooperatively working together trying to grab items, go to different locations, and possibly even go to the graveyard, for example, discarding a certain amount of items to be able to crush the coffins. And once you crush all 4, you can go where Dracula is and discard certain items to defeat him. And each hero has some abilities like grabbing items from adjacent space and using perk cards like giving you extra actions. You'll also be trying to save villagers because each round monsters will be moving around and attacking and possibly raising the terror. If it ever gets here, you'll lose. But if a hero gets attacked, they can discard items to not be defeated. So you're trying to defeat all the monsters before the terror track gets to the end or before you run out of monster cards running out of time. Back to the Future, Back in Time is a cooperative game for 2 to 4 players where you'll be one of the characters like Marty McFly or Doc Brown. Each of these have asymmetric powers and are better at some things than others. You'll be running around town trying to get different things accomplished, like bringing George and Lorraine together and trying to roll hearts in order to increase the love meter, which you're trying to raise all the way to one of these 3 heart spots to win the game in the end. You're also trying to be successful at getting the DeLorean parts to Doc Brown's house and getting the DeLorean there, installing these, getting that DeLorean to one of the 3 final spots, getting ready to race towards the clock tower. Biff is going to be moving around against you and trying to get to where Lorraine or George are. And he'll be able to reduce the love meter. But you'll be trying to move in where Biff is, roll some dice, and knock him down, and possibly even knock him out. Or you might be seizing opportunities like finalizing plans with George, which will give you power-ups, which will give you better and more actions like rolling 2 dice at once or changing dice. Certain dice are better at different things, but you can roll any dice because wilds are successes, so there's an interesting probability analysis done before you roll. There's also a press your luck mechanism where you can keep rolling until you get Biffs, of course. So you're trying to get that love meter up, get the DeLorean ready before the end of the game and before the picture completely vanishes. E.T. Light Years from Home is a cooperative game for 2 to 4 players where you're trying to bring E.T. to get him to phone home and get to the mothership. Now you're trying to look around, gather goods, and bring them to a spot like here, 4 blue goods, to create a device which allows you to bring that device, maybe with others, to the clearinghouse. At the end of every turn, for each of these you get, the mothership gets closer, and if you ever get the mothership in the clearinghouse with E.T. here, he's phoned home and you've won. But you'll lose if all 3 cop cars come down and they actually come to the clearinghouse and block it. But each round, dice are going to be rolled, moving the agents towards the kids to catch them, reducing E.T.'s number, and if it gets to 0, you've lost. But you can carry E.T. in your basket and team up other players with you, hitting ramps and jumping over spots to get further away. But you gotta be careful, because if you end your spot with a kid or E.T., well, the people are gonna come after you even faster. And while you have E.T., you can use these incredibly powerful E.T. cards like putting E.T. anywhere on the board, or skipping the move enemy step, or moving him anywhere with a candy trail. So let's see if you have what it takes to help E.T. phone home. This game has a great nostalgic look. The bike miniatures, the painted E.T., the mothership, great table presence. This is exactly what you want an IP game to be for mass market non-gamers, although gamer enthusiasts like it too. It is basically an abstract pick up and deliver game with a very big puzzle that you're trying to figure out. Picking up E.T. gives you great abilities, but also creates some danger. Teaming up gives you great abilities, more danger. Picking up items near enemies or moving through them. You gotta do it sometimes, more danger. Free actions make you feel like you can do a lot on your turn. The game has a great arc, moving towards the clearinghouse, then moving away to distract the cops away from E.T. at the end. This game is just fantastic. You can change the difficulty, but it's all open information, so if you have an alpha gamer problem in your group of people telling people what to do in cooperative games, this game doesn't get rid of that. But it's fantastic. I got a saxophone serenade. All right, well, there's how you play all three of those really quickly. First of all, let's talk about Horrified. That was the first of the three to be released. Now, this game is by far and away the most popular of these games. On Board Game Geek, it is by far the highest rated games. People went nuts over Horrified when it first came out. I like the game. I think it's good. I didn't end up keeping the game, but I think it's a good game. Now, I'm going to start by saying all three of these games are excellent. And if you like one of these IPs more than the other, go with that game first, because all of the games are good and you're naturally going to be drawn to the one that you have the most ties to, and you're naturally going to enjoy that one the most. So I would say if you have a tie to one of them more than the other, go with that one first. If you don't, we'll continue to listen as well. But the Horrified one, it's basically pick up and deliver. You're moving things around. You're moving villagers away from enemies. You're moving to gather things and make things and then go to monsters and do little mini games to destroy them. I love how the different monsters you can play with every game makes the game feel a little bit different. But in the essence, it's pick up and deliver and doing a mini game to beat the boss. About Pandemic, maybe a little bit lighter than a Pandemic weight. And I enjoyed the game quite a bit. And if you like the monsters, if you like those old-timey themes, this is going to be the game for you. For me, it was my least favorite of the three, actually. I didn't even end up keeping it. But if someone came over and was like, hey, you want to play Horrified? Sure, I like that. It's an excellent game. It's just not my favorite. These other two, I feel like, are better. So let's go to the next one that was done in chronological order. Back to the Future, Back in Time. Not to be confused with Back in the Future, Dice Through Time, which is a different game and not as good. Back to the Future, Back in Time did, again, a great job. It is pick up and deliver, moving things away from the enemies. You're moving George and Lorraine away from Biff. You're punching down Biff. You're gathering different items. You're moving it over here to make the DeLorean. The DeLorean, a lot of the same mechanisms, but yet it's still a very different game. Cool components with the DeLorean and stuff. The game's coolest part is the fact that you can sort of upgrade your dice. You have you have a special ability and you have certain things at the beginning of the game, but you can upgrade your actions and get better ones and things like that, and it makes your actions more interesting. This is my favorite of the three games. I think this is the best one. It's really good. If you like Back to the Future, this is a no-brainer. My only problem with the game is there was no ways in the rules to change the difficulty, but there's some people online that said, hey, you just start the DeLorean a little bit up. You can start the love track a little bit up. So you can kind of house rule some ways to make it a little easier, because it is a hard game to win the way that the rules state. That's the only negative of the game. But it is my favorite. It's fantastic. But again, a lot of similar mechanisms, but still a lot different from Horrified. Now the last one, E.T., once again, cool miniatures, cool components, pick up and deliver, moving things away from enemies, gathering things, putting them together. All three of these games work the same way, but it's odd, but they all do it in subtly different ways with other things around them that are different that make each game feel completely different. So even though I'm saying all these are sort of the same, they're very different games that use a very similar pick up and deliver, gather items, put them together to do something with, pulling things away from enemies, same types of things. You're moving E.T. and the kids away from the enemies. You're moving around, you're gathering things, you're putting them in to get the device, you're moving E.T. there, you're taking the device over, you're rolling dice. Again, lots of similarities. This one I really liked. I love the puzzle of it. I love the production of it. I love the nostalgic of it. Really, really good game. So here's what I think. Horrified was a good game, my least favorite. If you like the monsters, it's probably going to be your favorite. I'm in the minority here. Most people like Horrified the best. Back to the Future, Back in Time is my favorite. I just think it had the most sort of going on with still being light. You're going around gathering different missions that are going to allow you to do this and that, get different sort of equipment and do different things. I like that one the best. E.T., also a great puzzle. Love the movie, love the powers. Great game. I mean, it's only like a tad lower than Back to the Future for me. They're almost the same. So that's what I think. But hopefully from seeing how they're played and hearing my things about it, you can know which one is the best for you, because that's what my channel is about, which is breaking down barriers and growing relationships through board games by helping you find the next one you love. And I hope this has done that for you. Game Toppers not only transforms your existing table to a high-quality gaming solution, they now offer full leg kits and dining cover solutions for the full table application. Paired with their amazing, thematic, premium stitch edge mats from noted board game artists like Vincent Dutray, collapsible cup holders, and really cool accessories, it's a complete system that upgrades every game you play. Go to GameToppersLLC.com or click the link below to late pledge for their latest Game Topper 3.5 Kickstarter campaign.